Hey guys, it's officially December and you know what that means. Ugly Christmas sweater time. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this awesome Stranger Things ugly Christmas sweater. Now, while Stranger Things, doesn't make it ugly, these little guys on the front do, because this is an old sweater that my grandma gave me a few years ago and I've never worn it out in public. So the first step of this project is load up Netflix and start binging Stranger Things. Now, I re-binged it already, so it's okay if you do that too. Now I'm just going to lay out my sweater. So now you can see up close all these ugly little guys on here. So I'm just going to flip it on over. And now I have a reference picture here, and the reference picture is actually a picture of my phone case that I made. And if you'd like to see a video of that, I would be happy to post a video about it. So if you want to see that, go ahead, leave a comment down below. But you can see I'm just sketching out all the letters and also the lights. Then I went ahead and placed my embroidery hoop over the first few letters and threaded up some black embroidery floss and tied a knot in the end, and then just started with a classic back stitch. Now, if you don't know what a back stitch is, you can just see you move forward a bit and then move backward and just fill it in, so it's one continuous line of stitches. Rather than cutting the thread in between each letter, I decided to just make it continuous. And now you can see that I've run out of space on the first row of letters. So I'm just going to take off the front embroidery hoop, keep the one on the back and slide it over, and then put the one on the front back on. It's important to make sure that your needle and embroidery floss stay in there, and if it gets a little out, you can just pull it on through, just like I did here, and then continue on stitching. Now, it's important to be careful and not to go through the back layers, and just sew through the layer through your embroidery hoop. Now, if you don't have an embroidery hoop, you can just sew without one, but the problem that just happened is more likely to happen if you don't have an embroidery hoop. So once you're running low on thread or you're ready to move on to the next row, you can go ahead and tie it off just like you would when you're normally sewing. And go ahead, thread another piece of floss through your needle, tie a knot in the end, and continue on going. Here you can see I finished stitching all the letters in black and all the electric cords in green. And you may see up there I stitched the little light for the letter A, and that is yellow. You can look up a picture for what colors, or you can pause the video and look at the colors I used. So I picked out the colors that I was using, and I went ahead and put my embroidery hoop on the next letter. Rather than going in alphabetical order, I decided to just stick with one color at a time. So I started with yellow, and I'll go through all the yellow letters first. Here is an up-close shot of sewing on what a light bulb looks like. I just went ahead and stuck with an oval pattern. I was going for more of a diamond, but it turned out like an oval, but nevertheless, it looks like a little Christmas light. When I was done with that, I just tied off the thread like I did before, and trimmed off the excess. After I finished with the letter E, I went ahead and moved on to the next letter, which was S. As you can see here, I finished doing all of the colors with all the different lights, and you're almost done with the sweater. Now, this step and the one after this are completely optional, but I recommend doing it. So I'm just going to plug in my iron here and put it on the lowest setting. It's important to make it as low as it can be, so that way you don't burn your sweater or your threads. It's important to know the settings on your iron and what kind of material you're working with, so that'll depend on your sweater and the type of embroidery floss. So after the iron was done heating up, I just quickly passed over all the letters and lights, and then when I was done with that, I went ahead and flipped the sweater over. And after I flipped the sweater over, I just took the iron and once again did a light pass over the back of the threads. Now here I have a cup with a little bit of water in it, and I'm just pouring in some fabric glue. I'm using felt glue in specific, but that doesn't really matter. Fabric glue is best just to use so that way it is a flexible hold rather than a firm hold. So then I just mixed it together with the water just to thin it out a bit and not use so much glue. Then, to protect my work surface, I laid out an old strapping bag so that way glue didn't get all over the table and then the sweater gets glued to the table, so I just decided to lay out the shopping bag and then put the sweater on top of it. Now I'm just taking the fabric glue and putting a little bit on the ends of the threads. You can use however much you want or how little, wherever you want. This is a totally optional step. It just makes the threads more permanent in the sweater. And there you go, that's the sweater all finished. Also, if you guys were wondering what the heck this thing is, I broke my finger like a month ago, and I still have to wear this thing, so yeah. And there you go, that's how you make your own ugly Christmas sweater, Stranger Things style. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, go ahead and click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and have a Merry Christmas. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, have a good December. Go to an ugly Christmas sweater party. I can't do a thumbs up. Go to an ugly Christmas sweater party. So, technically starting a new series here, / adding all my old DIYs to it. It's going to be called DIY Am I Doing This? So, I hope you enjoy. There will be a playlist, and then every time I upload a new DIY, I'll add it to the playlist, so then you can binge all my videos just like you can binge Stranger Things. Who binges my videos?